I announce Singapore is a new blue zone. It's in the book. It's a manufactured blue zone.
My specialty has been solving ancient mysteries.
Ever wondered why some people in certain parts of the world live to blow 100 candles on their cake? The answer might surprise you. Today we're diving into the top 5 foods that could help you live to 100. Inspired by the groundbreaking research of Dan Buettner and the secrets of the blue zones. Stick around to find out how these foods not only add years to your life, but also life to your years. Blue zones are unique geographic areas where people live significantly longer than the global average. These aren't places where people are necessarily trying to live longer, they just do. The concept was popularized by Dan Buettner, who identified these regions and studied their lifestyles, particularly their dietary habits. The original 5 blue zones are Okinawa in Japan, Sardinia in Italy, Nicoya in Costa Rica, Icaria in Greece, and Loma Linda in California, USA. Each of these regions has its own set of cultural and traditional practices that contribute to the longevity of its residents. Recently, a new blue zone has been identified: Singapore. Unlike the original 5, Singapore is considered a manufactured blue zone. The government has implemented health-conscious policies that have led to an increase in the average lifespan of its residents. Singapore's inclusion in the list of blue zones is particularly interesting because it shows that longevity is not just a byproduct of ancient traditions, but can also be achieved through conscious policy and community effort. The importance of movement. One commonality among all blue zones is the importance of regular, natural movement. People in these areas are not hitting the gym for intense workout sessions. Rather, they incorporate movement into their daily lives. Whether it's walking to the local market, tending to their gardens, or engaging in community activities, physical movement is a natural part of their day. In Singapore, for example, walking is not just a form of exercise, but a subsidized activity. The city has walkways that protect residents from the sun, encouraging them to take between 10,000 to 20,000 steps a day. Driving a car is heavily taxed, making walking a more attractive option. This is in stark contrast to more sedentary lifestyles seen in other parts of the world, where driving is the norm and walking is often seen as a chore. The sedentary lifestyle common in many Western countries has been linked to a range of health issues, from obesity to heart disease. In blue zones, the natural incorporation of movement into daily life contributes to better metabolic health, lower rates of lifestyle diseases, and ultimately, a longer life. It's not about strenuous exercise, but about consistent natural movement. Plants and their predominance in blue zones. In blue zones, a plant-based diet is not a trend. It's a way of life that has been followed for generations. The majority of the food consumed in these regions comes from plant sources, making up about 95% to 100% of daily caloric intake. This is a stark contrast to many Western diets, which often feature meat as the main course. Specific vegetables like leafy greens, spinach, kale, and chard are staples. These vegetables are rich in essential nutrients and antioxidants, which contribute to long-term health and longevity. In addition to fresh vegetables, Blue Zone residents also consume a variety of fruits, grains, and legumes, all of which provide essential nutrients and fiber. When it comes to cooking oils, olive oil is the most commonly used in blue zones, particularly in Mediterranean regions like Sardinia and Icaria. Olive oil is rich in monounsaturated fats and has been shown to improve heart health by increasing good cholesterol levels. Limited meat consumption. Meat is not entirely absent from the diets of those living in blue zones, but its presence is minimal. On average, meat is consumed about 5 times per month and usually in small portions. When meat is included in meals, it's often as a side dish or used to enhance the flavors of plant-based dishes. This limited consumption is in line with research suggesting that lower meat intake is associated with increased lifespan and reduced risk of chronic diseases. Beans and legumes, the protein powerhouses. Beans and legumes play a significant role in the diets of those living in blue zones. They serve as an excellent source of protein, fiber, and essential nutrients. In Nicoya, black beans are a staple, while in the Mediterranean regions, lentils, garbanzo, and white beans are more common. In Okinawa, soybeans in the form of tofu are frequently consumed. Beans are not just a substitute for meat, they offer their own set of unique health benefits. They are rich in complex carbohydrates and low in fat, making them an excellent choice for sustained energy. Moreover, the high fiber content in beans aids in digestion and helps regulate blood sugar levels. Whole foods, the essence of a long life. Whole foods are foods that are unprocessed and unrefined, or processed and refined as little as possible. They are free from additives or other artificial substances. In blue zones, the concept of eating whole foods is not a modern-day fad, but a long-standing tradition. These foods include fruits, vegetables, grains, and legumes, all consumed in their most natural state. In Singapore, one of the newly identified blue zones, the government has taken proactive steps to make whole foods more accessible and affordable. Subsidies are provided to make fruits and vegetables cheaper, encouraging people to incorporate them into their daily diets. This is a strategic move to shift the population's eating habits away from processed foods, which are often high in sugar, salt, and unhealthy fats. The absence of processed foods and artificial preservatives is a notable characteristic of blue zone diets. Processed foods are virtually non-existent in these regions. The focus is on fresh produce, often grown locally and consumed shortly after harvest. This not only ensures the highest nutrient content, but also eliminates the need for artificial preservatives, which have been linked to various health issues, including cancer and heart disease. Nuts and seeds, small but mighty. Nuts and seeds are another common element in the diets of those living in blue zones. Almonds, walnuts, and hazelnuts are popular choices in Mediterranean blue zones like Sardinia and Icaria. In Okinawa, sesame seeds are often used, both as a garnish and as an oil. The health benefits of nuts and seeds are manifold. They are rich in healthy fats, particularly omega-3 fatty acids, which have been shown to improve heart health. They are also a good source of protein, fiber, and essential nutrients like vitamin E, magnesium, and selenium. Consuming a small portion of nuts daily has been linked to lower levels of inflammation, reduced risk of heart disease, and even improved mental health. While nuts and seeds are high in fat, it's important to note that they contain the good kinds of fats that our bodies need. They are also consumed in moderation. A small handful is often enough to reap the health benefits without consuming too many calories. We've explored the top 5 foods that could help you live to 100, inspired by the blue zones. From plant-based diets to limited sugar intake, these dietary habits are more than just food. They're a lifestyle. So, are you ready to eat your way to a century? Start now.